as well as effective oral presentations. So when I first joined BINUS, I was new to the whole Miss and Sir thing. So I didn't know the difference between Miss, and Mrs. So when I was writing an email, I didn't know how to address them properly. How about you, Leah? Was this all new to you too?
No, I wasn't very new to the Miss and Mrs., but the email part, yes, I definitely was like new to that because I was used to face-to-face and I could just speak to my lecturers. But now, because of the pandemic, we have to email our teachers a lot. And this also applies to the new freshmen. So perhaps they can relate as well, that email writing may be new to them. And so I think this session will be very beneficial to them in that way. Yeah, right.
Absolutely. And for all you freshmen, I'm not sure if you guys know, but me and Leah actually got voted as the best speakers in all of BINUS International last year. So I think it's pretty fitting that we're both emceeing for today's session. Personally, if I were to give any tips on a good oral presentation, it would be that visuals of your presentation should support what you're saying, either for emphasis or with data to provide a verbal point. And also, you shouldn't overload the visuals, make the points few and clear. How about you, Leah? Do you have any tips?
Yeah, I do have some tips as well. Well, my tip would be to practice your presentation a lot, because I'm the type of person who's actually really shy and I'm like terrified of going on stage. So if you're like me, practicing will help your nervousness. Like it won't get rid of it, but because you've practiced, your presentation would go much more smoothly. That's my tip.
Thanks for the tip, Leah. And now Leah's prepared another ice-breaking game. So if you could get that ready.
So before we start today's session, let us lighten the mood with a game. Since today's session is language class, how about we brush up on our English with a game of Mad Libs? For those of you who aren't familiar with this game, this is how it's going to go. So the reader, me, will prompt the others, you guys, to substitute the blanks in a story. The words I will ask for can be adjectives, nouns, exclamations, or etc. After we get all the words, I will reveal the story that we wrote. Now, when I ask for a word, just call out the words. You can just unmute yourself, or you could put it in the chat box. But preferably, please just call it out because it'll be easier for me to hear it. Oh, and of course, you guys can have fun with choosing the words, but please make sure that it's appropriate. Now, let's start. Now, give me a noun. Can anyone give me a noun? You can just turn on your microphone, or you can put it in the chat.
Michelle says interesting in the, or wait, is she answering to this or is she just saying Mad Libs is interesting? Yeah, I think she's just saying Mad Libs is interesting. So one of the freshmen, could you please just unmute, say any noun you want, but as Leah said before, keep it clean, please.
Or you could put in the chat box. Give me a noun. Any noun is fine. Or we could use that one. She said Betty Crocker. We could use that as a noun. Anyone?
How about Sir Frank? Do you have any nouns you want to start us off with today?
Noun. Any noun, like common noun, proper
Any
noun, liberty.
Liberty, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Verb. Give me a verb.
Okay, freshman, give us a verb.
Please. There are many verbs, guys. Sit.
Sit.
Okay. Verb. Next is type of liquid. Okay, good ones, guys. Panda. All right.
Okay.
Name an animal. Animals, guys.
Oh, then what now? Yeah, the first one was tiger. I think Ali tried to say duck, but we'll just take tiger.
Quick. Okay. How about next type of food? First one.
Pizza. Yeah.
Plural noun. It was quick just now. You guys,
The chat got lots slower.
plural nouns, you guys have a hard time. If none of you want to put one in.
Cats. Thank you, Nakwa.
Now another plural noun. Come on, guys. Women. Yes, that's a plural noun.
Okay, women. All right.
Last plural noun.
Uh, cows. Should we take cows or?
Ooh, first one was dogs, was it? No.
Oh yeah. Okay, sure. We can take that one. Okay, dogs. It is.
Number. Hmm? Wait, what was the first one? 5.
5 was the first number.
Type of food.
It should be a quick one. Cake.
You have cake for lunch. Type of liquid.
Juice.
And your favorite plural nouns, guys. Bleach. Bleachers. Men. Sure. Women, men.
Sure. Men works, right?
Adjective.
Happy was the first one.
Plural noun. Another plural noun is cats again. No.
Cats. Cats again. Do you want something else or do you want to keep cats?
Something else. We don't have something.
Okay.
Tooth. Oh, tooth is singular.
Teeth.
Yeah,
Teeth. Teeth. Yeah.
Adjective. No, descriptive word. Adjective. Amazing.
Amazing. That's a good one.
Another type of food. Yeah. Sweet. I'm sorry about the phone noise. Plural noun. Plural noun. Children.
Children. Okay.
Amazing. What place? This is the last one, guys.
Museum.
Museum. Okay, that sounds very creepy. All right, yes, we have everything filled in now. Let's reveal the story. There you go. Can you see? So a day in the life of a teacher. Let's see if this rings true for anyone. For Frank, maybe you can relate. 6 a.m. Wake up to the sound of Liberty beeping. Set out of bed and go immediately to the Phantom Maker. Much better. Does anyone have a Phantom Maker? That'd be great. 7:30 a.m. Walk the tiger, eat pizza for breakfast, drive to school while listening to cats on the radio. That sounds like the dream, honestly. I like that. 9 a.m. First period. Teach women and back hot dogs. Answer questions about how to get extra credit. 12 p.m. Only 5 minutes for lunch. Eat leftover cake as quickly as possible and drink another cup of juice, of course. It's pretty tame. 3 p.m. School day is over for the men. Women stay in. But the happy work has only just begun. Great teeth, write assignments, hang amazing decorations in the classroom. Okay. 5 p.m. Drive home, heat up sweets for dinner in the microwave. Oven. Fall asleep while watching The Real Children of the Museum on television. That's not something you guys would like to watch. Okay. So that's it for the icebreaker. Back to Ryan.
Thank you, Leah. So for today's session, we have two speakers, Sir Frank and Miss Cynthia. I believe, Sir Frank, you're going first.
Yes, that's right. Thanks, Ryan, and thanks, Leah, for that wonderful icebreaker. It's indeed a good one for a language session such as this, but we have to be frank that just like my name, that it's a bit funny, yeah, but it's part of the fun. It's called, what was that? Mad Lib, is it? Game is called Mad Lib, yeah? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So good afternoon, everybody. So we are down to the last two sessions of the day. So my bit of the session is all about basic communication in writing. And that means I will be covering some areas of writing or some genres or types of writing which you as students would normally write in your everyday encounters with us. Not face to face, not yet, but hopefully that's going to happen soon. Okay, so give me a minute to share my slides or my screen with you, and let's get going. Okay, let me just put this in presentation mode. Okay, sorry about this. Okay. Oh, right, great. Sorry about that. Okay, so basic writing. What does this session cover? So your life in university would mean that you will be writing more and more to lecturers or perhaps to friends and so on and so forth. Okay, these things or these types of writing that you see on your screen right now are the more common ones that you will be preparing or writing, right? So reports, you will be writing reports, essays, you will perhaps be writing cover letters and CV eventually as you move into the professional stages of your life. You will be, of course, writing letters and emails to your professors, as we have said. Now, for report writing and essay writing, these kinds of writing entail a more detailed approach to teaching it, and so we will teach them in class, yeah, for business communication and for academic English courses. So for today's session, I'm gonna be talking to you about um CV writing very quickly. Perhaps you will be making use of this 4 years down the road, but as early as now, we are introducing you to the right way of writing or preparing your curriculum vitae, all right, your CV, that is for short. So you include personal information, there's a summary of educational history and the list of awards you have garnered in university or in high school, perhaps your scholarships and so on. So basically a CV is a history sort of what you have accomplished in your 4 years of study. That is, if you are going to look for an unemployment later on right after graduation. So it basically gives you a summary of your work history, your education history, your roles as a student or as a young professional. It also gives your experience and your achievements. So at the end of the day, your goal is to make the reader or your employer think like, oh, he or she is the right person for the job. So in other words, a CV is a summary of your professional qualifications, designations, and memberships. Okay, so when you write a CV, so you use a standard simple font that's easily understood. Okay, so we don't want Comic Sans to appear or to be used in a CV. So you want it to be as formal as possible. Okay, so keep the most relevant information, something that's useful for your prospective employer eventually. And this is very, very important. Be grammatically correct all the time when you present something on paper. Yeah, it reflects your level of intelligence. Sadly, a lot of times Our intelligence is judged by the way we talk or by the way we write, okay? And let's admit that communication skills are actually very important for us to put ourselves out there and let our employers think that, hey, this is a very confident candidate, or this is the right candidate for us because he writes well, he presents himself well, he talks very well, and so on. So that is something that you should develop while you are in university. And obviously, in CV writing, grammatical correctness is very important. And it doesn't have to be very long. 1 to 3 pages of a CV is actually already enough for you. Let's have a look at this sample CV, okay? Um, and see that let's try to aim at preparing international CVs. So international CVs do not include personal information such as gender, age, and marital status. Yeah, in some countries, these are actually illegal, and no photos. Yeah, so probably you have seen CVs that include even your religion, your age, your marital status, whether you're single or married, and so on, and then you have your photos and all that. But in an international setting, you don't need a lot of those very personal information in your CV. One of the reasons is that it can be a source for bias. Okay, so that's why in other countries it's not allowed to put, it's not necessary, or it's not allowed for you to put those personal information in your CV. Okay, so why, as I have said, there are some reasons why CVs, international CVs, are so different. So basically, putting in personal information can be a source for discrimination, like discrimination on the basis of age, gender, or marital status. Yeah. And in one study, it was found out that fewer employers were employing young, recently married women in case they took maternity leave. And so, yeah, you don't have to disadvantage yourself on the basis of your gender, on the basis of your marital status, and so on and so forth. Photos also are a source of discrimination or bias. And so, in a more international stage later on, when you apply for internships, for example, and you have an international audience for your CV, you don't need these kinds of information. Maybe if you're applying for a local company, possibly that's fine or that's acceptable. So what I'm saying is you have to know your audience when you write. Audience here means the reader of your CV, the reader of your writing, your essay, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you always have to know who your reader or intended audience is. So if you're applying eventually for international internships, for international employment, follow the internationally accepted way of presenting your qualifications in the form of a CV. And I tell you, all these very personal details are no longer necessary in such a CV. Okay. Now, another type of writing that you can do is letter writing. By the way, if you have any questions, just feel free to write them into the chat box. Just type them into your chat box. Your MCs can call my attention, or you can raise your hand to call my attention. Okay, we don't have to wait up until the very last minute to respond to your questions. Yeah. So in letter writing, this is another type of writing that you might do eventually. There is also format. Writing is formulaic. So there is a particular formula in writing one particular form of writing over the other. So CVs, there is a formula. In letter writing, there is a formula in doing that. In essay writing or report writing, there's also a format that is accepted or that is expected of you by your intended reader. So make sure that you write or study the genre carefully, meaning the type of writing that you write. and include the necessary details. What we want is you are able to write an effective form of communication in the tradition of writing. Okay, so the first paragraph for letter writing is you got to tell the specific job that you want. If you are writing an employment letter, okay, say why you want to pursue a position at the company. All right, and then write a short summary of your career tailored to fit the company you're approaching. And hopefully, this same information is also consistent with what you have written in your CV. In the third paragraph, you lay out several specific accomplishments that are relevant to the job. All right, so that is actually what you highlight. How suitable are your qualifications to the job that you are applying for? All right, so that is something that you have to tell your prospective employer. So at the end of the day, whatever kind of writing that you want, make sure that you achieve your purpose. Always ask yourself, why am I doing something? It's basically true for all aspects of your life, right? It's not just about letter writing. Why are you in university? What is your goal? So your purpose or your life has to be purpose driven. Just like when you write a CV, when you write an application letter, when you write an essay, there has to be a purpose why you're doing it. And you should be able to think of your reader or think of your audience in mind. And as I said in the beginning, there is a formula that you follow when you write any of these types of writing, from CVs to employment letters like this. And this is the formula for letter writing, all right, for application letters, okay, if you will. All right, so in the fourth paragraph, if I may continue, say when you will be getting in touch. All right, so that's the formula. First paragraph, this is what you want to say. Second paragraph, this is what you want to say. Third paragraph, you have a specific kind of information there. And then your last paragraph, that is your offer of being able to get in touch at the convenience of the employer, or basically any time, because you want to put your best foot forward in any job situation or job hunting situation. Okay, you might be wondering, oh, it's 4 years down the line. All right, so it's still a long way to go. It's a long way away, but obviously, while you are in university, you will be making use of, or you will be studying business communication, for example, and we are giving you a bird's eye view or some idea of what might come in your business communication courses if you have that in your curriculum. But I suppose you are graphic design students. I'm not really sure, but this is practically helpful for you eventually when you look for a job in the future. Okay, now let's have a look at the structure of a good letter. Okay, so September 8th, obviously that's the date line. Okay, and your recipient should be there. The salutation is important. Dear Mr. Doe. Okay, this sounds very formal. Okay, remember, keep the audience in mind. Who are you writing to? Are you writing to a friend? Are you writing to a professor? Are you writing to an employer? So the tone of your letter should always match the person that's going to receive it. Okay, to me, this letter sounds very formal. How do I know? Dear Mr. Joe, I have that. And then if I go to the signature, yours sincerely. Okay, all right, James blog or something, if I'm reading that right. Yeah, so you will see that the different parts of the letter gel together. All right, there is some consistency in the tone. In this case, this sounds like a formal letter, and therefore from the beginning until the end, you have a formal tone, okay, or a formal register. Okay, you cannot go from an informal hi Joe to sincerely yours, James. Okay. And you must always know how to address the person that you are writing to. Yeah. So you don't say dear Mr. / Miss. You just have to research whether that person is a Mr. or a Miss, or if that person would like to be preferred to be called doctor, then you put in doctor there in the salutation. So here, obviously, this is an example of an employment or an application letter. And so this is a formal type of letter. So position you're applying for. So depending on the structure that we have just seen, correct? Let's now give a specific example as you see on your screen right now. Yeah, so I am writing to express my interest in the first officer position. So right away, you are putting forward your reason why you are writing. Then, since you are applying for a job, the summary of your previous career, okay, your accomplishments. Perhaps if you have just recently graduated, this is something that you can highlight because basically you might not have a lot of work experience yet. But so what we are trying to say here as well is that while in college, you should have as many activities as possible. You're a freshman leader, for example, you joined the presentation contest, you are part of the debate club, you're part of the computer science club and whatnot. You are part of a graphic design organization on a voluntary basis. Try to enrich your experience as much as possible because you will have to fill in that space eventually on your CV or in your letter. So that's also the reason why we are discussing these things with you, because indirectly we are telling you that while in university, your role is not just to sit in class or be in the Zoom room. Your goal is to develop yourself holistically so that you will be able to write something in your application letter eventually or in your CV eventually. Yeah. And then, of course, going back to the letter itself, then you have a closing. Thank you so much. I have enclosed my resume or your CV. There's a slight difference between CV and resume. One is more detailed, one is shorter. Okay. And then, of course, you have the signature. Yours sincerely, comma, James. All right. Let me just give you or point out a tiny little detail. Sincerely or yours truly. So in that case, truly, here it's yours sincerely. Sincerely is not written in capital. So S is written in lowercase. So do not write Y in or S in uppercase. Okay, so yours sincerely. Best regards. So regards is not written in capital letters. Only B is written in uppercase. Yeah, so that's a common mistake that I see when students write. So best regards, regards there is not written in capital letters. Okay, so any questions so far? So I hope that this is making sense to you right now. I hope that you know by now why we are introducing CV writing and application letter writing to you. So indirectly, we're trying to say that, hey, while in university, you have to improve your profile. Yeah. So you got to collect activities or things that you can add in your profile eventually if you want to land good professional careers after graduation. But let me quickly go into the etiquette of email writing. Come to think of this, the average person using email for business receives and sends over 100 emails a day. Do you agree? Do you agree that this is true, including spam mails? I would agree. I would think that this is a correct statement. Yeah, 100 emails a day. Okay, I would agree. And that goes to show how important email writing is. And the way you write emails reflects the kind of person that you are. If you want to give the impression that you are a professional person, or that you are an educated person, then writing etiquette is something that you should always bear in mind. Let's have a look at this other statement here. A recent study by SendMail found that 64% of people have sent or received an email that caused unintended anger or confusion. All right. I go by the mantra, if you feel bad about something, do not click send yet. Okay. So let your writing stay. All right. So that when you are more composed or when you are more relaxed, you can go back to how you wrote the email. And chances are you will realize that, hey, I should probably rewrite this part because it does not sound too polite. I sound very angry here. So first tip, do not send out angry emails. Your reader can always send or can always sense anger in an email. All right. So be polite and courteous all the time, and never leave the subject line blank. All right. It's funny, okay, that we are reminding you this because you might not think that this actually happens, but it does happen in reality. Yeah, remember, your receiver might be receiving hundreds of emails, and if there is no subject line, then there is no way for your email to get the attention that it deserves. Okay, so be careful in filling in these kinds of information asked of you in email writing. Okay, never leave the subject line blank. You should be concise. Don't sound as if you are writing a spam. Okay, so for example, seminar on email etiquette. So um it's good. All right, so I know right away what the email is all about. But if you write a subject line like "Hi, urgent, congratulations," you sound like a spam message, and you will not get the attention that you need from the very beginning. Okay, so subject lines and attachments are very important. If you said that you have attached something, make sure that you really had attached something in your document. Okay. All right. So also name your attachments properly. That's very important. Salutation. Let's move on. Yeah. So salutation, dear sir or madam. Okay. When you do not know whom you are writing to, you say dear sir or madam. But a word of advice, make your research. Do your research. Okay. So you say dear Mr. and Miss Doctor, last name, when you know whom you are writing to. Dear first name, when you know the addressee personally. So dear Frank, because you know me personally. When you know the person very well, you can just say hi. Hi, Jan. Hi, Billy, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you see that there are different gradations of formality, from very formal to very informal. So you got to know the person that you are writing to, or you got to know who you are writing to, and achieve the right tone of your writing. When it comes to content, let's move on. Always be concise, precise, and to the point. Yeah. So again, the first paragraph, you tell your intention right away. Introduce the topic or the main point. It means why you are writing the email. So you can start out by saying, I am writing to tell you that, okay, I'm writing to ask you a question. Okay, so right away, the reader of your letter knows what the intention is all about. And the next paragraph, you justify the importance of your main point and provide background information or supporting details as necessary. Okay, and always keep it simple when you close or when you sign off an email. Looking forward to hearing you soon. Thank you so much for the time and so on. For example, signature, put your name and some contact information, like your email, your phone number, or your mailing address. So those are the parts of an email. And it's very important. Think through the subject line properly. Yeah, think through your subject line properly. Do's, be aware of your style. As I said, you have to be consistent when it comes to formality. First and foremost, you ask yourself, am I writing to a friend? So it's going to be very informal. Am I writing to a professor? How should I address the professor, or how should I address the lecturer? And if you write to professors or if you write to lecturers, treat it like you are writing a formal business letter. Okay? Always remember that. Yeah? Because it gives the air that you are actually respecting the authority of the person. Okay? Next, your email address should look professional. So if you still have emails like hotchocolate@gmail.com, don't use those kinds of emails anymore. Okay, you are in university and you would, especially if you're looking for a job. Okay, so avoid very informal emails, zigzagboy@blahmail.com. Okay, so be very professional in your email handles. Be as brief as possible. Use simple, readable fonts. So again, no funny Comic Sans fonts. Proofread your email before sending for very obvious reasons, as we have discussed already, and use abbreviations and acronyms sparingly. Be judicious about color. So I mean, think about whether you need to put a word in bold or you need to put a word in color or highlight a word. Okay, so they convey meanings. Colors convey meanings. Putting a word in bold conveys meaning. All right, and do not ask anything which you could search or find easily. All right, so before you click send, always think twice. Is this email really necessary? Okay, and do not use capitals. So I know you pretty much know about this, but some students still do this because shouting, obviously, or writing in capitals means that you are shouting in real life. And do not use any graphic animations whatsoever. This all sound very trivial, but we are reminding you that we still get these kinds of emails. And so please don't perpetuate or continue these kinds of email ways of emailing lecturers. Okay, so no graphic animations and so on and so forth. Okay, look at this. This is an example of a letter. Yeah. Hi, is it possible I get my paper reviewed or something? Okay. Um, Obviously, it does not. Okay, it does not convey a formal tone. Yeah, so this is a no-no. Subject is help. All right, so that sounds like a spam. And obviously, if you are in a class, you know the name of your professor, so please address the professor or the lecturer properly in your emails. Yeah, so tone is very important because it reflects a lot about yourself, obviously. So this obviously, or this certainly looks like a more professional one. So when you write an email, might introduce yourself. Yeah, that's very important. You know what? Lecturers probably have hundreds of students per semester, and so it's always good to introduce yourself. Okay, they are humans. They may forget who you are or what you are, what you look like, especially in this time and age of Zoom classes. And so it's always necessary to introduce yourself and give other details such as I am your student in academic English 1 class. I'm your student in marketing. I'm your student in graphic design. I got a D in my last paper and I'd like to speak with you about that and so on. So this is a very straightforward letter. Remember, Do not be very wordy in your emails. Emails are meant to be read hurriedly, okay? It's not supposed to be a novel which should be read leisurely. So go straight to the point, but make sure that you introduce yourself. The last one, closure and signature. Thank you. Looking forward to hearing from you soon. Yours sincerely. Again, sincerely there is not written in capital letters. Mike Rogers, and that is Mike's Venus email, all right, or the contact details of Mike. All right, so this gives the impression that the email is well thought out, that this is very respectable, and so chances are your lecturer will also respond very quickly. There are times when lecturers just complain about how students email them or communicate with them through writing. And it is not a reflection of your writing teacher's ability. It is more like a reflection of yourself as a respectable student. So please make the effort, all right? Make the effort to write well thought out emails. Common problems in sending emails to your professors. Sir, attached is my essay. Wait. No problem. Yes?
There's a question from Alia.
Oh, there's a question. Okay.
If we are addressing events such as Beacon, are we allowed to use all capitals, right?
Okay, right. Okay, that's a very interesting question. Okay, now this is certainly an abbreviation and it's a matter of style, correct? So if Venus, as a matter of style, capitalizes VinCon to mean, what does VinCon mean? Virtual conference, is it? So if it is written that way, then obviously you can write it that way. So if BINUS, for example, is preferred to be capitalized, I mean all the letters capitalized, then you can write it that way. So it's a matter of style. But obviously for all other words, then you have to write it the regular way, okay? So that's my answer. So if it is a matter of style, and BINUS endorses that capitalization for all the abbreviated letters, all right, then you may follow that style. So everyone agrees that, hey, this is not shouting, but this is pointing out a particular agreed upon way of writing a video conference, for example.
Okay.
Franklin. Okay, let me just read it out, Leah. When I want to call someone whose name I know but not with his full name, can I use sir in both writing and calling? Okay. When I want to call someone whose name I know, okay, if you want to call someone whose name you know, then you call his name. Okay. So sir is a very formal language, and normally when you say sir, you don't use the name anymore. Okay, so you don't say like Sir Frank normally. So the British would say, oh, are you a knight? You're being called sir. Okay, so but in very formal situations where you don't know the person, okay, for example, in America, for example, oh, may I have your name, sir? Or may I have your name, please? Okay, so that's very formal. But if you know the name of the person, there is no need to say, Sir Frank. Okay, there is no need to do that. You can say Mr. Talawe, but that is very formal as well. Okay, in my high school, we called all our teachers with sir. Okay, yeah, you can actually say sir, but it should stop there. Okay. Or you can say Mr. Talawe. Okay, it should stop there also, Mr. Talawe. Or yeah, but you can say, in some instances they say Mr. Frank. Okay, or in some instances they say Miss Joey. Okay, but yeah, it's a matter of convention, but and sometimes it's cultural also. Okay, but You should know your audience again. So you see, if you are in a cross-cultural context, say if you're talking to a British guy, then you don't say, Sir Mark, okay, because it will sound awkward to the person. Okay, so there. So if you know the name of the person, just mention the name of the person. Okay, so dear John, dear Mark. Okay, you don't have to say sir, dear Sir Mark. Okay, so there. But here, sir, I attached my essay. You can say sir, but I would say, you know my name. Why don't you call me using my name or write to me using my name? You don't have to say sir. Okay. Right. So I hope that answers the question. Okay. Very tiny little details, but important. So thank you for your questions. All right. Let's move on. Here, there is no, what is this? The message is there in the subject line. Please don't think that we are inventing this. We get emails like this. That is why we are telling you right now. Yeah. Sir, attached is the essay you asked me to do. Please check. Yeah, that is in the subject line when in fact it should have been in the message line, in the message box. Okay. This is laziness and this is not very respectful. And so it's bad. It's bad way. It's a bad way of communicating through emails. Okay, this one, subject essay. All right, and then no message again, and essay. What does that mean? Okay, so maybe you can say submission essay, compare contrast essay submission, something like that. So it gives you, or it gives the lecturer a better idea of what it is. Okay, so be detailed or be informative in the subject line, and make sure that you write something in the message box. Okay. This one, no subject, no message. Yes, we get emails like this. Okay. This one, yes, the same. Here's my essay. Sorry, it's late. Okay, again, always consider your audience and be respectful. Yeah, examples of common phrases. I'm writing to inquire about, I'm writing to confirm, right from the very beginning. So as I said in the beginning, emails are not meant to be read leisurely. So the reader of an email should know straight away why you are writing it. No beating around the bush. Yeah, so I'm writing to confirm, I'm writing to ask you a question about this. Yeah, if you are requesting, you can say, could you possibly? I would be grateful if you could. Okay, look at this. Would, could. Okay, I would be grateful if you could. I would be delighted to. Okay, if you are agreeing to something, I'd be delighted to be the first presenter on Tuesday, something like that. Giving bad news, unfortunately, you can start with unfortunately. I'm afraid that I won't be able to make it to class next week because of blah, blah, blah. Okay, so these are common phrases that you can use when you want to be more direct in emails, and you should be direct in emails, no beating around the bush. Okay, a 50-word email is fine, yeah, as long as you're able to convey your message. Attaching documents, I am attaching or attach this document, and make sure that the document is indeed attached. Okay, reference to the future as you end your email. I look forward to hearing from you soon. I look forward to meeting you next week. Thanks for your help. Thanks for your consideration. It's bad to just say thank you. What are you thanking me for? So thanks for your help. Thanks for your consideration. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your attention. Okay. So it's more explicit and it's more detailed. Complimentary, again, the complimentary closing should match the tone of the salutation or the beginning. Yours faithfully, if you do not know the name of the person you're writing to. Yours sincerely, if you know the name of the person. Best wishes or best regards if the person is a close business contact. So yes, again, the level of formality varies. Okay, but you don't have to say regards. Okay, so but some people in some textbooks it is written that way. It's acceptable. Some people use it. It's a matter of you getting getting used to it, or it's a matter of your preference. But these ones are the recommended ones: best wishes, best regards, and so on and so forth. Okay, I wonder if we have enough time to watch a video. What time should I end, guys?
You have about 6 minutes.
Okay, 5 6 minutes. But let me just okay. But basically, I think you know what I am trying to put across. Okay, let me just quickly go through the rest of the slides, and if we have enough time, maybe we can watch this parody of email etiquette. It basically sums up what we have just discussed. So to me, all right. Oh, it's quickly embedded there in there. So let's probably just watch this or yeah.
I wonder if I have any homework. All right, subject, class stuff.
Dr. Anderson. Sorry, I wasn't in class today. Did I miss anything? Puppies? I think I got problem 3 wrong on the test. Explain.
What is a thesis statement again?
Okay. I'm like 3 weeks behind. Can we like meet ASAP? Hi, Richard.
Hey, Dr. Anderson. Did you get my email?
What's the deal? I emailed you this morning and it's like noon. Hey, professor. When will grades be posted?
Whoa. Whew, that was a close one.
All right. So I think that pretty much sums up everything. Yeah. So be respectful, be polite in emails. Yeah. So an email can break or make a potential opportunity for you. So you got to send and respond to them wisely. Okay. So, right. So that's about the end of the presentation. And hopefully I was able to give you, they all sound trivial, don't they? But they are actually very important reminders for everyone to be polite and to be professional in the sending of your emails, because after all, almost everything now is done online. And so your image as a student matters a lot, or is only determined by how you write or by how you present on a wall like this, on a Zoom format, or in any other computer mediated format. And so please try to make use of technology correctly or wisely. Now I'm gonna end here, and unless you have some questions, then we will call it a day. You still have another session to finish for today. So I'm ready to take your questions, although I know that there have been some questions asked during the presentation, and thank you for asking them beforehand, so you didn't have to wait till the very end of the presentation. Okay, so I suppose there are no questions and we are on time. So we still have 3 minutes, but I suppose I should turn you over to Ryan and Leah. Guys?
Thank you, sir, for that session. I hope everyone here learned something new, and it is important for this one because you will be doing a lot of emails. I don't think there are any more questions. Guys, last chance for a question. No? Okay, I think we're okay, sir. Thank you for your time once again.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.
Wait
So
for documentation.
picture first.
All right, yes. We should have a photo.
I'll give
So,
you.
yeah. So everyone please turn on their cameras for documentation.
We'll start with the first slide, yeah? 3, 2, 1 now. Okay, next slide. 3, 2, 1 now. All right. Thank you, Sir Frank.
Thank
Bye,
you, sir.
guys. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Will be you too. Is Miss Cynthia here yet?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. So how did everyone find that one? Was anyone unsure about how to properly write an email, how to address people in emails before this session? Nope, I'll take it that everyone knew how to write their emails then. So yeah, I assume everyone's had lunch. Yeah, very informative. It's refreshing, you know, long days like this to have such a refreshing, motivating speaker. It's really lift the spirits for the rest of today.
Yeah, and like other than email writing, we also learned about CVs. Like even just 2 semesters, we already had to write CVs, right?
Yeah.
Like and mentors. So you guys will be putting all of this to reality very soon. So I hope you guys listen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you want to show us your penguin? Yes, from Miniso, right?
I have like 2 of the big ones and 5 of the small ones. A lot
So
of them.
cute. What is it when you guys MC for next session? You can speak fast.
Okay.
Mhm.
Noted. So, and any of you want to ask us anything from that session or the session earlier this morning? Any questions that just popped up in your head last minute?
No, I bet like 2 hours each session, they must like pile up a lot in their brain, you know?
Yeah, gotta have one question at least from one of you. All right, guys, I know today's been a long day. There've been 2 2-hour sessions, but not another hour coming up. But I think the lecturers would appreciate it if at least most of us would have our cameras on. So for those who already have theirs on, thank you. So it's just a gentle reminder, keep your cameras on during the session. It's okay now, we're still waiting for the speaker. So it's okay if you turn off, take a seat back now, but I think Miss Cynthia and us MCs and the FLs would also appreciate it if you guys turned your cam on during the session. Thank you guys, that's all.